Good afternoon, families. Welcome to our family webinar series. My name is Heather Deer, and I am the Assistant Director of Parent and Family Programs here at William & Mary. Today, I have some of my fabulous colleagues from Student Leadership Development who are going to talk about student involvement at William & Mary. Before we get started, I have just a couple tips for you. If you want to ask questions, which you are welcome to do so throughout our presentation, you will do so by hitting the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, and that is how we will ask questions during our webinar. So you can ask questions throughout the presentation, and we will get to as many as we have time for at the end. But at this time, I'm going to turn it over to my colleagues, Anne and Jen.
Well, hello everyone. I am Anne Arsenault. I am joined today with my colleague Jennifer Leung. We work in the Office of Student Leadership Development, and today we really want to focus on sharing information with you about how your student, your incoming student, may get involved at William & Mary. We are here to represent the collective Student Leadership Development Office. So it is both of us who are here, but also we are representing all of student leadership development and the functions that we hold in our particular office. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we do, what leadership development means to us for your students, and then also how to get involved.
So at William & Mary, we believe that student leadership development is important to the college experience. This is a great time for students to learn about themselves, learn how to work with others, and to start cultivating change around the things that they care about. Our students come to William & Mary passionate about issues and topics and interests, and they want to make things better. They want to make our world a better place. And so leadership development is a great way for them to gain those skills, make those connections, and really begin to see what it's like to make that positive change. Functionally, within our office, we work with leadership development initiatives and programs. So initiatives being a little bit more informal, way for students to reframe how they think about leadership and what leadership means to them. We also offer some in-person as well as virtual programs to help students hone those skills that are so important to becoming a more effective leader. We also support the over 450 student organizations at William & Mary. There is a wide range of student organizations, from club sports to fraternities and sororities to performance and to publications, as well as graduate student organizations, and some organizations focused on just general interests. We have Cheese Club, we have bird watching club. There's a wide range of things that students can join here at William & Mary. We also work with our student assembly, which on a lot of other campuses might be called Student Government Association, but they serve the same function. This is a group of students that helps forward policies and funding decisions, as well as programs that benefit the entire student body. We also work with fraternities and sororities in our office, and we also work to support our media council and the various publications that students work on here at William & Mary. The way that we approach our work can be described by this framework. We really have three overarching objectives to the work that we do. The first is to help individual students learn about themselves, and so that they can become more effective leaders. As I already mentioned, college is a really important time and a great time for students to explore and to learn about themselves and to be able to practice those skills and those competencies as leaders that they'll be able to use while at William & Mary, as well as beyond their time here. The second objective, overarching objective to our work, is to support student organizations. We really want students to be able to learn about themselves, but also learn about others and how to work effectively with others, and to create positive, enriching experiences for members of the organizations as well as the rest of the campus community. And the third objective is to really help our students and our organizations learn how to create that positive change that we've talked about. They want to make campus the community, the world a better place. And so how do they take what they've learned about themselves, learn about how to work with others, and how to move forward positive change around the things that they care about collectively?
Sorry, my dogs are barking in the background. I'm sorry if you can hear that. Jen has just shared what our mission is. She shared the main buckets that we serve and support through our office, and then she's shared the framework that is how we approach our work. It's a lot of context for what we do, and often when we get the opportunity to talk with people about our office, the first question we get asked is, Office of Student Leadership Development, what's your leadership program? And we like to share with people we do all kinds of things, but our primary place of support is supporting students in the practice field of leadership. So we want them to get involved in the groups, causes, initiatives that they care about, and then journey on through their experience, getting practice field experiences about how to work, how to know themselves better, how to work with other people, and how to work to create positive change in the things that they care about. So we really look at our student organization opportunities as a practice field for our students. And we also always say there are tons of other experiences at William & Mary that are not student organizations that allow our students to grow in this same way. So we help support that individual journey, but we are really trying to do, our portal is primarily supporting through the student organizations. One of the ways that we really love sharing this data point is the Gallup Purdue Index did a study of college graduates to talk about the difference between a good college experience and an extraordinary college experience. And what they name as the game changer for college graduates is the ability to establish a deep connection with a mentor, to take on a sustained academic project, and then playing a significant part in a student organization. So whenever we get to talk with people about why we think this is important, we know at William & Mary, and for college graduates, the piece that makes a significant difference in their collective experience is that ability to play a significant part in a student organizations. And so much of our work, particularly for incoming students, is to try and help them tap into the groups that are going to be so meaningful to them while they are with us.
So as we've already shared, we have over 450 organizations at William & Mary, which can be very overwhelming. It's even overwhelming to us who work with them on a regular basis. But when we think about what incoming students need to think about when they consider all of the opportunities they have to get involved, whether it's organizations or those experiences that Anne referenced that are not connected to organization membership, we really encourage students to reflect on 3 questions, or for families and support networks to ask them these questions to help them discern what types of organizations they might want to join. So the 3 good questions that we put out there for students, the first one is, what are you curious about? So what do you want to learn more about? Like, what is that interest or that activity or the people, the places, the causes that really get you excited and get you thinking, get your mind going? Because there are really great opportunities to connect with other students who share that interest, who want to explore those ideas and those interests with you, as well as to teach you. And so that's our first question. What are you curious about? Second question is, what skills, knowledge, or insights do you want to develop? And I'm really thinking maybe more from a lens of what academic interests do you have, or what professional development experiences are you looking for? So thinking about it from that lens. So what do they want to cultivate and grow and develop? And it might also be a great way to explore and learn about maybe that is not a professional or an academic path that you want to go down, or maybe it's still an interest of yours, but maybe it's not the right major or career path, but it's still a way for you to continue to hone those skills and that interest. And then the third question is, what energizes or restores your well-being? I think this is a really, any transition is a difficult time to navigate. And I think especially given the circumstances which the transition is happening this year, it's so vital that our students are putting well-being and resilience at the forefront. And so what are those activities and those organizations that they can join that allow them that space and that time to restore their well-being. Joining an organization doesn't always have to be about where is this going to get me. Sometimes it's just about that recreational time to be in company and to be in community with others in a way that helps you re-energize, refocus so that you can bring your best self back to the next day. And so we really want to encourage students to think about that as well. How can student organizations and student organization involvement be restorative to their well-being? After students considered these questions or thought about what are the things that I really want to explore and get to know and possibly join, we encourage them to go to TribeLink. TribeLink is our student engagement platform, and there are so many different ways that a student can use it. But the primary way that an incoming student might use it is going to be to explore the student organizations that we have at William and Mary, to learn more about the organizations, to figure out how to connect with them, whether it's sending them a message, checking out their social media, or seeing what events they are holding, either in person or virtually. And so we encourage students to go to tribelink.wm.edu, click on organizations, and use the various search features that are available to them on that platform. They can type in any word under the search feature and find organizations that maybe have that in the title or in their description, and they can check those groups out. They can also decide to use our category filter to find different organizations that maybe are categorized in a certain way. So TribeLink is kind of the place to go. It is our directory of student organizations, and that's a great starting point to learn more about student organizations. We do want to share that in addition to this webinar, our fraternity and sorority life staff will be doing a session during the orientation weekend or later on in the summer about what the fraternity sorority experience will look like, as well as what the recruitment and intake process will entail this semester. So while Anne and I can answer some questions about this, this is going to be your go-to opportunity to really dive deep into the fraternity sorority experience, as well as the recruitment and intake process. In addition to TribeLink, we have some additional ways that students can learn more about student organizations. Each year we have 2 fairs. We offer 2 opportunities for our students and interested students to connect. This year we are going virtual, and so beginning of the school year, we will hold a number of virtual organization fairs where our interested students will be able to connect with our organization. Some of our organizations will have some live chat opportunities set up where they can connect one-on-one, have some conversations. Incoming students can learn more about what the organization does and why the people who have joined it and the people who are choosing to lead the organization care about their organization and what it does. So encourage students to check out TribeLink events. They will be listed there once we've gotten those up and running, so that they can see which fairs they want to attend and learn more about the organizations that are participating in those various organization fairs. We've also invited our student organizations to create some short videos introducing their organization to interested students, and those will be on our YouTube channel. And so we encourage interested students to go check those out. Just learn a little bit about the organizations from the organizations themselves. And so those will be coming out in the next couple of weeks.
As Jen and I shared, we're the Office of Student Leadership Development. We have a leader framework. We offer programs. We offer, a lot of times for incoming students, we offer an emerging leaders program in the second semester. So more information will be forthcoming about that as we head towards the second semester. But one of the primary things that we feel responsible to do is to help share and infuse language across campus that helps us frame what we mean by leadership. And for us, again, it's you have to know yourself, you have to know how to work with others. That goes back to our framework, and all in the name of creating positive change. One of the most important things for us, so we have 3 campaigns we want to share with you that can be messaging that you can help your student think about and reflect on as it relates to what leader development means at William & Mary. Our initiatives, the 3 that we're going to share, are all pulled from the multi-institutional study of leadership, which studies college student outcomes in leadership. And so the things that we know to be the most important for students to focus on about leadership development. One is our No Title Needed campaign supports the notion that you do not have to wait to have title, position, or role in order to affect change in the things that you care about. And we think that this is a particularly important message for our incoming students to hear, many of whom have come from being at the top of the pack in terms of their involvements and their opportunities, and are now arriving in a new environment and sort of feeling like they're starting over. And we want them to know very clearly they do not have to wait till they are elected to a position or hold a title or a role in order to care and affect change in the things that they care about. So helping your students sort of be prompted for that is really important for us. Our second campaign that we want to share a little bit about is depth over breadth. This one also, I think, is the leadership data says that those individuals, those students who do a few things significantly rather than too many things too broadly, have the best leadership outcomes. And we, for William & Mary, think this is a really important message for all of our students to hear. I think we gather, people who look at William & Mary are looking to get involved, and they are often high achieving students. They are always high achieving students, and they are also frequently coming from environments where the messaging they have received through their high school experience is do more, be a leader in all of it, do as much as you can. That's important for your college admission process. And we find we have to really work hard to help students turn that off a little bit and begin to focus in on doing a few things significantly rather than trying to cover the breadth of maybe what their experiences were before. That will lead to both the best personal experiences, the best leadership outcomes. We also, we want to share with you that this is a particularly important message for our students and our student organizations to hear as we head into this fall semester. We have an abridged semester. It looks different. There are not the breaks that we are used to seeing. And we really are asking our student organizations to focus on doing a few things significantly rather than trying to replicate in this abridged semester everything that they're used to doing. So depth over breadth is some important language for us, and we hope it's language that you can use to support your son or daughter in terms of trying not to overextend themselves right off the bat as they look for involvement opportunities. And then the third campaign that we want to share with you that is important to the way we frame and talk about leadership is our Pursue Perspective campaign. And in our Pursue Perspective campaign, what's important about this one is that we know that the best leadership outcomes occur for those individuals who are able to hold a conversation across socio perspective. They're able to take different social perspectives with different individuals. And so they are able to hold differences of opinions. They're able to explore new opportunities. They're able to learn about new cultures and new environments. And so we really hope that, one, our students in their individual interactions are looking to learn and grow in this way. And then we try to support framing of this so that our students are looking for as much opportunity to gain new perspectives while they are here with us at William & Mary. So those are our three campaigns, and it sort of takes us back to just generally student organization involvement being a great practice field for leadership outcomes and for leadership development. And we want to turn it back to Heather right now in order to open it up for questions and to see where we can answer anything that you have about involvement at William & Mary. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And now would be the time, if you are watching our webinar, to submit any questions that you have for Anne and Jen, and we will get those answered. I am seeing a lot of questions about, how are groups going to be able to connect this fall? Is that going to be fully virtually? Is that going to be in person? Is it going to be physically distanced out on the sunken garden? Do you have an idea of where we're headed?
We do. I will say it's sort of hot off the presses. We are to launch to the student organizations on Thursday, but we're talking transparently about it. One of our thoughts for our groups is that they are coming to campus, and one of the benchmarks of the William & Mary experience is being able to be in close connected communities, and the involvement opportunities are really important, part of what makes the William & Mary experience the William & Mary experience. So that will be happening. And we want to preserve and do our part to support the health and wellness of the overall community. So we are asking our student organizations to, each student organization will have a COVID-19 planning document and prompts to think through what it is that they do, what's mission critical to them, what are the things that are essential. That looks very different. Like, you cannot ask the same questions of the IR club as the rugby team, as the knitting club. Like, the way our groups function is so differently, but we want each group to have a plan for what that means. We are really looking at three key ways in which our groups gather. So meetings when the business of the organization is being conducted, we want our students to be able to do those virtually. So member only business of the organization, we're asking people to do those virtually. But student organizations tend to gather in meetings in order to plan for the thing that is their showcase or their hallmark or the way that they really are known across campus. And so those are what we're designating as events. And our organizations will be able to do one event per 30-day period under the appropriate physical distancing properties. So if that event is outdoors, that looks different than if that event is indoors. We're trying to open up as much outdoor space as possible for student organizations to have as much opportunity to gather. Each of those events will have an event plan that is submitted along with it. And then we do have some groups, I'll use club sports, a cappella groups, where the business of the organization can't be done virtually as easily as a group that has like a standard business meeting or gathers to kind of share updates and information. So we have special parameters in place that are allowing for activities, that's how we're calling that. So business of the organization for just members of the organization that can't be conducted virtually. Some special parameters that allow for that to take place a little bit more. So that's our broad approach. We hope it creates all the sufficient opportunities for gathering and connection for our students in the places that they care about, and the initiatives and causes and groups.
Wonderful. One question I've been seeing is, if my student is choosing to go fully remote for this fall semester, are they able to get plugged into a student organization, or will they need to wait until the fall or the spring semester?
Yeah, I think that's one of the nice things about us asking student organizations to do their meetings and to do a lot of their activities virtually, is that for those students who are choosing to remain at home and to approach the semester completely virtually, they'll still be able to make those connections and to engage in different ways with students and start to build that community, so that when they do come back to campus in the spring, they can jump right in with those communities and those groups that they're already a part of. So we're hoping that this moving a lot virtually for our student organizations opens up accessibility to students who are choosing to learn remotely this semester.
I will add, and this is just sort of tapping onto that. It'll be a learning curve for students and a learning curve for organizations related to, Jen and I have spent a lot of time this summer talking about, we traditionally have a massive organization fair that takes place in William & Mary Hall. And it was one of the first things that we were like, that is not happening. Like, way before we sort of, back in April, we were like, we are not going to be able to do that in the way that we're used to doing it. It's a big mass group. One of the things we know, because we do an in-person orientation for students, is our groups have gotten very used to waiting for somebody to approach their table and sign up for the group. And so this is a whole new way for our student organizations to be looking at recruiting members more actively and really doing true recruitment rather than just sign up because of a physical stop by at a table. So I do think it's going to take persistence on the part of the student for the organization that is like figuring that out. So one tip would be, like, if a check-in with the group doesn't yield a response on the first time, don't let that be discouraging. I think we want, we're going to do our part to kind of, and we have been all summer, to sort of help student organizations, but this is a first time for them in looking at it this way.
Right. I'm not seeing any more questions, so I'm going to go ahead and close us out. But if you want to leave our families with maybe one piece of advice as their students get ready to join the William and Mary community.
I would say my piece of advice is the prompts that Jen shared on the screen earlier about the ways to think about involvement, the 3 guiding questions. Those prompts are going to be in a resource for both the new students and for you. I uploaded it yesterday. And so we'd ask you to think about asking them to be intentional about where they're choosing to get involved with that depth over breadth mindset, is that to be intentional about seeking out opportunities. You can always add more, but at the very beginning, approaching it through the lens of those 3 prompts, like what are you curious or energized about? What forge your professional pursuits? Like what is something you want to continue to do and learn more about? And then the third one is just what's something you do for well-being and recreation? Asking your students to think about it from that lens, that would be my tip.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both so much for joining me. We will get this recording edited and uploaded to YouTube soon, and we will send that to all families. But
Heather, do you see the question that just came in? The sorority rush?
I'm seeing that question now, if you want to take it away.
They are indeed. So, and they just yesterday made the plan that they are 100% virtual in their process. They are creating FAQ guides that will be going up on the Fraternity and Sorority Life website. And again, sharing earlier that there will be the program on August 18th where all of that will be navigated. But prior to that, when registration for sorority recruitment opens, there will be guides for potential new members about what they need to know, and a parent's guide, frequently asked questions as well, that will be up on the Fraternity Sorority Life page. I think they're hoping to get those up next week, Jen. Do you know?
I think it's actually this week.
Okay. Yeah. So those will be up soon.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you both so much for joining. I hope that everyone who's watching has a wonderful afternoon, and we will see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.